Is time travel possible? That's what I'm watching right now. Yes. She's talking about how many, you know,
There are exceptional new structures that come up
watch.
that only exist when you get to 7 and 8 and maybe 9 dimensions.
9 dimensions. So she's talking about like different dimensions, different there's 9 spatial dimensions. And there's 3 supposedly spiritual dimensions, and there's supposed to be 13. There's one more left. And if you think about it, 9 and 4, if you put that quantum of the 4 on the 9, see, if we put the 4 on the 8, we get 12, and we get the 4 on the 9, we get 13. So maybe that gap of that 1 is the part where we use that number of 1 and we times it by each of the dimensions, meaning that one kind of spatial spiritual mindset dimension is completely composed of us traveling back and forth through time, back to this way, back to that way. We got to be sure to put in the concept of dimensions. I haven't seen this video yet, but we got to put in the concept of it, one-dimensional objects, two-dimensional objects, three-dimensional, like a line, and then we have a square, and then we see a cube, and then we see more and more and more. How do we go around that? Of like seeing through objects, seeing this, going to that, of those spatial dimensions. Maybe that last of the 12, the 13, the 13th is the one that we need to be in, that we can travel back and forth. We got the other guy saying that it's impossible to travel to the past, which is not. But it's not, it's possible to travel to the future, but it's possible to travel to the past. Maybe there's people that don't know. They know because we only use 9 to 12% of our brain. We could all know how to do it. So if we power and mind power our brains up like supercomputers and learn anything we can that relates to it, anything at all, we can possibly completely complete this. And what we're doing now, hopefully, will this new digital age. But we got to be very careful of it not being deceived by just laziness. So, 1 second. Let's go back to the video.
Now,
are you following this?
She can't follow it.
I'm starting to hyperventilate because you're talking about.
I'm sorry. But I'm just saying that we're living in what we think is a 4-dimensional world, where time is one of the dimensions.
Exactly.
There are many, many possible structures in many, many dimensions, which
in
could
this
give
one.
rise to time travel if you knew how to navigate around the symmetries.
Exactly. And that's the 13th one. That one.
It's certainly true to say that in Einstein's theory, we've got 4-dimensional space. Then you're prevented from traveling back in time.
And then the 4-dimensional space, if that one space of that 13th one that I said, when there's 9 and then there's 3 spiritual ones. The 3 is a big number. 3 crosses, 3 this, 3 that. What's 1 plus 1 equals 1? That's 3 thing. That's 3, That's 3 sums of numbers right there. So that's 3 integers. It's always 3 miles per hour. Da da da. I love you. So those three spiritual dimensions, which equals 12, which is the quantum flux completely of the 4 and the 4 and the 4. So 3 times 4 equals 12. So I have to be right on that one. Maybe. It's a theory. I'm pretty much making the theory up. So, and that 13 is a big number. So maybe that one in pretty much a limbo type world is the only way to time travel back and forth. I'm not sure yet. Let's keep going. See if I had.
By the speed of light, it fits into the geometry in that way. You're right, though. You can imagine.
But hold on. The speed of light is calculated by what? Time itself. So if we can configure time and we're always used to it going right, loading right, it's going right. And what if we were born and we only knew that the clock only went a quarter to the counterclockwise, a quarter that way, or it went that way for a little while and then came back a little while that way, or we never had time? Then how could we perceive?
Wormholes and these ideas that you can tunnel through and take shortcuts. It'd be like going from London to Australia by going through the Earth rather than around the two-dimensional surface on the edge. So, I've heard Stephen Hawking has a thing called the chronology protection conjecture, which is
so you make up theories
from a physics perspective. Is that, as you say, it seems to make no sense. It's not a way to build a universe to allow you to be able to travel back in time and prevent your parents from meeting before you're born or whatever you do.
I believe it's more like, well, I'm told through it's the Ethernet. It's kind of like the Hubble effect. I came up with a theory. It completely makes in conjunction with the fact that it's conjunction. This Ethernet and this to this to this to this, and it makes a huge computer out of small little computers, like a cell phone. Da, 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 da. And it's wired here, wired to this cell phone, da, 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 da. And we can finally time travel through all those different, like, all the dates are different, all of this is different, and we keep completely quantum flux. We fluctuate. And then another method of, a meditated type state of time travel without building a machine is to have 4 clocks in a room. Sit in the middle of a room. Sit in the middle. It's a square. You have one in each corner, a clock. They're all ticking. It's pretty much hypnosis. And it's just going dun 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 to the point where, and stay up as late as possible. You will completely have the fact of it possibly freaking going. It depends on the person. It depends on everything, but it's happened to me. And that's how I know all this knowledge for some reason of maybe this could happen, or this is just theoretical stuff I'm talking about with me.
There's a conjecture that the laws of nature will always be such that time travel into the past is forbidden. Now, that's a conjecture at the moment.
Well, in the mind, in dubbing and memory, we haven't even touched base with dreams, the reality of that. What type of reality and dimension is that? What are they? Have we hooked ourselves up and taken and extracted memories, or hooked ourselves up to machines to even study completely of someone else's memory and someone else's pain? I haven't seen that.
Certainly, it's true in what's called Einstein's special theory of relativity.
Because he's basing it off science. Now, what if that was able to be even more, the capacity of that equation completely expand or even, downgrade, and to the point where we finally get to the answer. Because that's a long time ago. We should be able to make our own equations up. It could be we don't even need numbers in equations. We can do this all by pictures. People that read books, when there's a picture, they're gonna want to see the picture. Automatically, even subconsciously, they're gonna be. It comes from that early age of like pictures. Fuck yeah, reading. Yeah. So we gotta wait for a second. We can change this. We don't have to keep going by the law of history. Or pretty much time travel when we're thinking about it. Is time travel just in the mind?
And
Are they talking about physical time travel? I'm doing it right now.
Might be true or not in his general theory, we're not sure because you have these shortcut things. But I think most theoretical physicists would say we'll conjecture, as Stephen Hawking does, that the physics protects the past.
Can I just say then that logic suggests that even if you can travel into the future, we will never know.
Or you can travel into the future.
Yes, but
even in Einstein's theory, as far as you want.
Yes, but no one will actually do it because it would require a great scientific.
He is correct. We are right now. But I've been getting on my phone and different phones and my watch and certain things. I believe that we are embedded with certain things by aliens and scars, and we're like, oh, it's just a scar. It's just that scar from yesterday. The same scar I looked at, and then we see these other marks and all this shit, and we're like, that's just from other things. And it's really, like tumors or really like material things that can be like, oh shit, this magnet, this sort of magnet, whatever the fuck magnet it is, in the future, if we ever, figure out different materials and different from different like planets and different like asteroids and all that stuff, or even Earth, it's like, holy shit, it works. And it could, this radiation could be a bad thing completely. To get rid of these tumors, maybe just extract differently, but radiation is just not good. It'll expand them and make it worse, and it'll press on the organs. So, like I said, we need to hook up. It's called the tethering effect. I think it's all with the third eye. It's very fucking vast. If we can use the third eye in some kind of technical way, then we could figure out if we can go back to the past. We're going to figure it out. Brian Cox and lady, I don't know. We're going to figure this out.
A lot of money, but no one would ever be able to prove
we do it.
That they've been in the future.
It's been proved. So moving clocks run
Not
slow.
sure.
Yes, moving clocks run slow relative to station ones. So if you were to run across this,
what are clocks? They're made up by men. Time is irrelevant. There's no such thing as time. I could be traveling back to the past. My mind is completely thinking about past things and future things completely at the same time. So I'm pretty much going to the past and the future and the present and the past and it never ends. There's no such thing as clocks. It's a made up thing. All of this is made up completely. So is time travel possible? We're doing it right now. We're going back and forth and this and that. We just need to pinpoint it because we're only using we're only using 9 to 12% of our brain. What if we used completely 100%? I think we could figure it out. So it's time to build up on that.
Down, and we measured the time on your watch very accurately. It would your watch relative to mine would have run slower, and that's actually central to the way the satellite navigation system.
There's also control, and there's also what you're made up of. You could have tiny little bits of material that we can't even comprehend and figure out where the hell it is, what the hell it is. And this clock could run faster on someone else. Then when you put it on somebody else, the vibrations are differently. The EMF, the electromagnetic field, electromagnetic forces, fields could be completely on a different spectrum from each person to each person. And people that get struck by lightning, it usually raises or decreases. It depends on the person completely. So, and in the Bible, we're all aliens of this earth. So let's keep going. It's quoted by Jesus, New Testament. Boom.
Works. It requires to be so that's true, and that's part of Einstein's theory.
But you couldn't, or you wouldn't. Let's say the scientific community wouldn't do this. Take a human being and try and put them into the future.
I'd do it.
Because what would be the point of it?
Well, you just do. But if you, let's say you fly, I know a number, which is the speed the protons go around the Large Hadron Collider.
Mm-hmm.
So they go around the Large Hadron Collider.
We might just have the quantum down.
99.999% the speed of light. At that speed, time passes 7,000 times more slowly for the protons than it does for the experimenters sat watching them going around.
So he's saying that time's slower than light. Then again, those things are just created and made up.
So every time someone gets on a rocket and goes to the moon and comes back, their time will have passed slightly more slowly than the people on Earth. Therefore,
yeah, I was thinking about this. On a different planet, there's different, like a time pattern. It's not necessarily a time of from here to here, or here to here, or here to here, or here to here. It's more like you're gonna get this different vibration from the other place you're at. Yourself as a person, your physical body on this physical plane, you're gonna completely get a different sense of feeling completely there, and then you're gonna get back, and then you got jet lag, and then you got, I guess we got rocket lag, spaceship lag, and all this stuff, planet lag.
So we've gone into the future.
Now, I'm just...
That's a good point. Whatever the time completely kind of measures what he's talking about completely, yeah, could have past and the future. We don't know what's going on, so we'll have to do cloud computing to go to a different area and then go to this area and then figure out where they are in time and where we are in time completely, because I want to witness it, of what time is it really on Earth compared to Mars and the Moon. Like, what are we exactly or not exactly? Can go back and forth. Hey, I'm on the moon. Huh? Hey, I'm on the moon. It's like, oh, okay. And then that shows time travel right there. And then you get back, and but if you get back from anywhere and you go back to that place, the same place you were at, like the tethering effect, your third eye, where it's supposed to be, then you go on a trip, then you come back and you're like, holy shit. That's time travel in the future. You went to a different place, come back, and it's completely different. Wow. Like the seasons change. Wow, it's so green out here. There was no leaves or anything. God, it's completely fucking off. I don't know.
Yeah, well, first of all, Just forget about those 3 letters and that drug that you were talking about earlier.
3333333.
Are you disappointed to find you can't go back in time? Because
So what we're going to do with the number 3, times it by 4, meaning the quantum times it and then make 12 and then add a 1 to it and makes 13? Or are we just going to completely make it as 3s, and then we're going to go 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. 9 spatial, 3 spiritual equals 12 dimensions. Plus 1 could be limbo, the space between. I don't know.
presumably, if you could, there might be something you'd like to change.
No, I don't think I'd want to travel back in time and change things like that whole butterfly effect.
I feel like maybe when you die, you completely maybe can be able to go into different places where you can see it, but you can't change it and you can't be there. You can only watch it. Kind of like a memory. It's the same thing as deep meditation. Using more of your brain, just completely going back and completely like even feeling it again. So meditated to that point. That's why I believe that the room effect, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you sit in the middle. It's like a square, and then you sit within the square in the middle. Or you can put a square and then a circle in the middle of that square, or rectangle, or whatever. It completely will work. If it doesn't work, then it just doesn't work for you. But you got to meditate. But you don't want to say, I'm meditating. La la. Meditation. Meditating. You want to just not do anything at all. You can even do something. You can even like play around with this and hook up this, and the fucking ticking of the clock's just gonna hypnotize the shit out of you, and you're not gonna know what the fuck's going on. We can even do louder clocks. It's like Back to the Future. Why are there so many fucking clocks? Well, it's the same thing as a freaking hookup of the ether is the way. The Ethernet is the only way. And I got to study more on that. It's the only way for time travel. I'm cutting it short. Only way for successful time travel, and I mean it. The Ethernet. We'll get back to that later. I got to look it up.